Hello, my name is Miss Miller, and today we'll be talking about Juneteenth. Essential question. What is Juneteenth? Standard. With guidance and support, identify details in familiar stories. Identify illustration or objects, tactical information in print or digital text. Juneteenth. Juneteenth is short for June 19th. June 19th is a federal holiday that marks the day that enslaved people that lived in our country found out that they were legally free. Juneteenth is also known as Emancipation Day or Freedom Day. Vocabulary. Slavery. The practice of people owning other people is called slavery. Enslaved people have to work for the owners, doing whatever the owners ask them to do. In the past, many societies had slavery. Now, almost all societies consider slavery to be wrong. They consider personal freedom to be a human basic right. Freedom, the state of being free to act or move as one wishes. History. On January 1st, 1863, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation at the height of the Civil War. On paper, slaves in Texas were free, but they were not aware of it. Texan slave owners kept the news to themselves, delaying the emancipation of over 250,000 slaves by another 2 years. Here's some literature that you can use to discuss Juneteenth with your students. Juneteenth for Maisie by Floyd Cooper. Juneteenth by Drew Nelson. Juneteenth Freedom Day by Muriel Miller Branch. Some resources. TeachersPayTeachers.com has Juneteenth resources. So here, I search by Juneteenth, ascending order, and I picked the grade levels that I was interested in. And here we have several free items. And again, you would search and look through them to find out what best meets the needs of your students. There's a Juneteenth flag coloring sheet, which I have used with my students. Here's a freedom sheet. What does freedom mean to you? So after you introduce the vocabulary, potentially you could provide this as an assignment and adapt it for your students to ask them, what is freedom? What does it mean to them? What are some things that they like to do to exercise their freedom? And for our early learners, that could be play with their toys, go outside, things of that nature. YouTube.com also has Juneteenth resources. So I searched Juneteenth for kids and I began to look through the videos. Brain Pop has an informative video, and there are a host of others. As always, you look through the videos, find the relevant information and content for your students, and pick what best meets the needs of your learners. This is one of the read alouds I mentioned prior, Juneteenth for Maisie. It's a great read aloud. I would highly recommend that one. GetEpic.com also has Juneteenth read alouds. So I've gone to GetEpic.com, search for Juneteenth. You can search by age, reading level, fiction, nonfiction, format, and language. And here they have Fiestas, Juneteenth, which is a Spanish book. They have it in English, as well as a host of others. So I actually read this story with my students And it goes over the process of how people celebrate Juneteenth. So typically I start off by reading the title, the author, we discuss the table of contents, so I went through the story with the students. What is Juneteenth? It's an African American holiday. Discuss how the enslaved people in Texas learned that they were free. They had a big celebration at that time. And how do people celebrate it now? Discussed some people go to church. We talked about the parade, Miss Juneteenth, playing music, dancing and singing, barbecues and cookouts, reading of poems, and I focused on the flag, June 19th, 1865. The story was short and informative and also has a lot of text that students can read in addition to the images and looking at them. So here's a student work sample. After reading the story, I had my students do two things based on their level. And I created this in Jamboard. So I took an image of a template, a printable Juneteenth flag. So you could search Juneteenth flag template, and this will come up. I copied and pasted it into Jamboard, which is jamboard.google.com. And I also looked for an actual image of the flag and pasted it next to it. So this particular student was asked to match the colors on the Juneteenth flag, in which he had the model here. He was able to color blue, red, and you may see a little bit of white here as well. This particular student was asked to fill in a blank. This is a Juneteenth, and after reading the story, the student should be able to say that this is a flag. However, I created a word bank here in case the student needed some ideas. So the word bank has flag, shirt, cookie. The student was able to write the word flag and even added a little period here to the end of the sentence. So that's two ways that I've modified the same activity after reading that story. In conclusion, Juneteenth is short for June 19th. June 19th is now a federal holiday that marks the day enslaved people that lived in our country found out that they were legally free. Juneteenth is also known as Emancipation Day or Freedom Day. YouTube, Teachers Pay Teachers, and Epic Books have great activities and videos to assist with you learning and teaching about Juneteenth. Thank you so much for listening today.